All right, so Matt Timmerman,
Yeah.
the elder Timmerman,
The elder.
much larger man, quote unquote, than your brother. That's
I got-
how you were described once.
Yeah, I got heckled a couple weeks ago for my beer belly.
All right, so you just finished 7th
I
in
did.
UCI C2, and you're racing the Masters against Meyerson and Al Donahue and all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
But what made you decide to step up to the elites? Because this is something you did this last season as well. Too.
Yeah. I think it's nice to kind of get both races in. You know, the Masters race, when you're kind of at the front, sometimes it's a little bit punchier. Number one, because of the kids, but also at the front of a race, you know, you're going hard, you're recovering, you get into the tactical, you're thinking a little bit more. But then in the elite race, it's just a time trial. Like, you just go as hard as you can, you find the fastest wheel you can, and you just do whatever you can to hang on it. So it's good to have both things in your pocket.
Did you end up going a lot harder during the elite race?
It feels like it. It sure feels like it, but I don't know. It's a good question. You know, if you take the highs and lows of being at the front of a race versus just going as hard as you can for an hour, I think you do go a little harder. You know, you've got faster wheels to follow, and it's a 60-minute race versus a 45-minute race, so I think you go a little harder.
All right, how did your race play out today?
I got a decent start. There was a crash on the start. Kind of a bunch of people pushed out wide a little bit, so I snuck by on the inside, and I think I was top 10 right off the start. And then kind of felt like there was the group, I think Meyerson and Al were in the group and a few other people, I'm not sure who it was, but it kind of felt like the group was getting big. And then Lindeen came through, and I was like, I know I can't hold this wheel, but I can't hold it for very long, but I'm going to hold it as long as I can and see if I can bridge up to the next group. And I didn't quite get to the next group, who I think was Mark McConnell, and maybe Marion was up there, but so I kind of just ended up dangling in between those guys and then the you know, the Meyerson, Al, whoever was with the rest of those guys.
I forgot there were actually a bunch of Masters races in your race.
Yeah, and then at one point in time, I was kind of in between those two groups, and coming around one of the corners, I saw like Al and Meyerson together, and I'm like, oh boy, here come the Masters brigade.
All right, how old are you?
40.
You're 40. Are you gearing up for perhaps an attempt at the Masters title in Hartford?
Yeah, that's the hopes. So I won
Who are
it.
the fast guys? Do you know nationally who are the fast guys in the 40, 44 now? That's
I
your
do.
bracket, right?
So I won it last year. I don't know if you remember, Masters Nationals 40 to 44, and then Jake Lasley is also very fast. He's the Masters National Champion from 35 to 39, but he's aging up this year, so it'll be the two of us, two defending national champions. And then there's a whole host of other people. Nationally, I think like Justin Robinson was second last year. I don't know him very well, but I think he's a long-time cross racer that's super strong.
Don't try to wrestle him.
No,
he's
a big boy.
He's like a large man by non-bike racer standards, like Magnus Backstead or something.
Yeah.
I mean, very fit, but big dude.
We're bike racers. Nobody should be wrestling. But yeah, you know, Al will be strong. Aeneas Frere, he's riding really well. He's been doing a bunch of cross racing, so I'm sure he's targeting nationals. I'm sure there's people that I'm forgetting that are going to show up, but yeah, I think those are going to be the major players. At least that's who I'm focusing on.
All right, man. We'll see you out there.
Cool. Thanks Tom.